All right, welcome back, guys, to another video of Think the Chart. That's what we're going to be doing today, and a bit of a trade review. So we can see that I have a web of orders and fills all the way throughout today. That does not entail that I was taking a bunch of positions and got chopped out or anything like that. It just means that I was really playing to my thesis. My thesis today, even before this drop happened, I was looking at this range on the NASDAQ where we kept bouncing off of the 21,700 area. So 1, 2, almost 3 times. And here is a fourth attempt at the level. I'm thinking, well, it's a range after an uptrend. Let's see if that means we can get a fourth bounce, right? So I have my level marked here at 21,730. 733 to be exact. And as you see, we dropped hard. We even made a little entry there and dropped quite a few more points. We dropped another almost 100 points below that level. So that did kind of pique my interest, but we did end up making a strong wick and giving signs of a possible reversal, which is exactly in line with my thesis. So I did start to build my position. There was my initial there, and as you can see, we started kind of a little uptrend. I got in with the scale in. It did get taken out. Things were starting to get choppy, but that wasn't exactly a bad sign for me yet. The accumulation after a big drop has been working for me very well over the last week or two. So I did not assume today would be much different, but I did keep in mind that we were going to close the market at 1 for Juneteenth, right? Either way, I just kept holding on to my initial at the very least and then scaling in where I believed appropriate. Scaled in here and here. Try to take this thing higher. And it was working well. It was working well. As you can see, if we ignore this right side of the chart, I have reason to believe that this is going to work. But that level that I had marked came back to bite me. And I did not want to just flip my thesis. I wanted to stay strong. But I did acknowledge that we were holding below it. And that became a not so good sign, obviously. And I just stayed persistent. I just allowed the chart to keep making attempts, which it did. A really strong one here. I scaled back into that one. Things were looking good. I'm up $700. But then this chart does definitely start to turn around, and it did slowly take out all of my scale-ins. At one time, I only ever had 2, additions to my initial, but I did try having 2 scale-ins 5 or 6 times. So I will say that was a bit of over-managing the trade there, and even a bit of over-leveraging. It did start to just bite me in the butt, because you're talking about 5 or 6 small losses just besides the initial, which I did end up getting taken out of that one as well. So that definitely made me lose more than I bargained for. Some of my scale-ins were taken out in profit, which is awesome, but overall, I did lose more than I was expecting. So that's unfortunate. What I do like about this trade was that 8 out of 10 times this works. Honestly, I really believe that because of our early closure today, there was no volume, as you can see right here, right? The volume was very low, and I was playing the chance, right? Who wouldn't want to go long at a range low? I think that's just a pretty simple thesis, and I gave it a shot. It didn't work. That's fine. I really liked that. Not only did I feel with trend with the market, but I also felt like I was accumulating with them, with the smart money, with the market makers. I'm building my position down here, because if this did take out this 730 and we went for these, 787, 790s highs, or the open of the market as well, well, I'm looking at possibly 2,000 or more. We can check the math later, but. And then what happens if we get a strong bounce off a range low, right? We're not worried about the open anymore. We have at least a little bit of room, right? Maybe up to this high, up in the 850s. So there was a really good risk-reward ratio here. Yeah, I might have lost a few $100 here, but the potential to make a few thousand, I would take this trade 10 out of 10 times, and it'd probably work 8 out of those 10 times. And that has proven to be true based on of my success in the last couple weeks. So I will say this week has been exceptionally tricky, and I have had 3 tough days, red days, I'll admit, in a row. It has not been fun at all, but it is what it is. So we have taken the initiative to kind of scale down in terms of our position size and be increasingly more selective. As you guys can see, that did come into effect today because I took one overall trade and I made multiple attempts at boosting those profits, right? But I did not flip-flop with the chart itself. I didn't go long and go short and then go long and go short. No, I had an overall thesis. We're going to hold these lows and possibly go for the open, and I built on my position. Did it result in a red day? Sure, but this is a red day I can live with. I'd rather lose like this, where I'm just wrong, than being wrong 5 different times on smaller little moves, right? I'm not playing whack-a-mole here, right? I'm actually looking at the bigger picture. And I know that looking at the bigger picture like this, right? Looking at these 4 bottoms right here, expecting that move up, that has paid me, and I know it will continue to pay me. It will not work every day. The conditions are not the same every day. That'll never be the case, right? So I'm in good spirits, even though I've given back a really good amount of this month's profits in just these last 3 days. I'm still thinking I'm good because I'm still me, in the sense that I'm not going to make the mistakes of the past and size up and try to revenge trade. I know that what I'm going to do is actually manage risk a lot smarter and be much more selective with whatever I end up taking here in the future, whether it be Friday, if there's even a setup, or next week, right? I'm already of the mindset of saying, okay, let's just let this storm pass. I don't need to make this money back tomorrow if the likelihood of me making money tomorrow is not high. I can just wait for this range to play itself out, make a big move up, make a big move down, whatever the case may be, and we get back to more sustainable conditions, right? I would rather see something like that. We can drop down here. Maybe we can make a big move up. I don't care. Either way, I know that I'll be able to catch the move, like always, as long as we're going somewhere. If I know that this chart is having a tough time going anywhere, and I'm someone who makes their money on big follow-through trades, well then why would I be present in this area? This is something that I've struggled with for years, right? Like saying I have to trade tomorrow, I have to get it back. Well, no, because tomorrow's going to be the same story as today, and we don't want that, right? We want to minimize the amount of losing days we have, and when those losing days come, we want to make them as small as possible. So that's why I use loss limits. But this is something where, this is why it's called think the chart. You're asking yourself, is the chart presenting a real opportunity for me? No, because this range is nowhere near the same opportunity as, let's say, this uptrend right here, right? That's easy to read. We know exactly what we want to look for. We want to look for pullbacks to then go back long and take it to a higher high. Simple, super clear thesis, right? But the thing is, when you trade choppiness, even when you do get a decent setup, it's still choppy, right? It's not just going to change overnight. So, all in all, still feeling good. And we'll report back next week to see what we can make happen. If you made it this far, thank you for watching the whole video. If this is the kind of content that you're looking for, then stick here, subscribe. I'm going to be constantly posting trade reviews, conceptual videos, and chart analysis in order to help you guys do what? What's the name? Think the chart, right? I want to get myself and whoever can listen to me away from only thinking of their account or their emotions or their life or all of these things. When you're in front of your computer, you're here to trade the chart, so you got to think the chart. Don't mean to be cliche, but that's just a quick phrase to help you stay on the right track and in the right mentality in order to make the best, most objective decisions. So stay tuned for more of those kind of videos, and let me know in the comments, how are you doing this week? It's been tricky for me. So if you're doing great this week, I applaud you. Let me know. This has been David with Think the Chart. I'll see you on the next one.